Hello. So, have you ever heard someone say that schizophrenia means having multiple personalities? Yeah, that's not what it is. And that misunderstanding isn't just a small mistake, it's one of the most common and harmful myths about mental health. It's all over media from like back in the day. Like if you look at Me, Myself, and Irene, like yes, it's a silly movie about something very much not accurate whatsoever, but it is based around the idea of multiple personalities, and on many occasions even the diagnostic thing is it's schizoaffective bipolar disorder with whatever rage. And when he switched into that other alter character, whatever, she yelled, "Hey, don't hurt him, he's a schizo." That's kind of not a good thing at all, because schizophrenia and dissociative identity disorder, also called DID nowadays, are completely different conditions. But movies, TV, and even casual conversation mix them up all the time. So today, I wanted to break down all of it, clearly, simply, and without the Hollywood nonsense. So I will do my best, and here we go. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're into psychology, like I'm starting to be, storytelling, or just understanding how the human mind works. There's an ant on my computer for some reason. You're in the right place. Today's topic is one that's misunderstood a lot, even by people who think they understand it. We're talking about the difference between schizophrenia and dissociative identity disorder in the most basic of way. And by the end of this video, you'll hopefully not only know the difference, but you'll probably start noticing how often people get it wrong. So let's start with schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is what's known as a psychotic disorder. That means it primarily affects how people perceive and interpret reality. Now, when people hear that, they often jump to extremes. But the reality is more nuanced. So the most well-known symptoms include hallucinations, which are experiencing things that aren't actually there, which is like most commonly hearing voices and stuff. There's delusions, strong beliefs that don't match reality. There's disorganized thinking, or thoughts or speech that may seem scattered or just hard to follow. And then there's negative symptoms like reduced emotional expression or lack of motivation. One of the most important things to understand is this: psychosis equals altered perception of reality. People with schizophrenia are not switching between different identity states. They are experiencing a distortion of reality itself. For example, someone might hear a voice commenting on what they're doing, even when no one is there. or they might genuinely believe something is happening around them that isn't. And to them, it feels real, not imaginary or made up, but real. And that's what makes schizophrenia so complex and often so difficult to live with. So let's talk about dissociative identity disorder for a minute, or DID. So DID is not a psychotic disorder, it is a dissociative disorder, which means it has to do with identity, memory, and a sense of self rather than the perception of reality around you. DID often involves two or more distinct identity states, memory gaps between those states, and a feeling of being just disconnected from yourself or your surroundings. So these identity states, sometimes called alters, can have different names, ages, behaviors, even ways of speaking or just interacting. Dissociation equals disconnection from identity or memory. And here's a what is that noise? Okay. Sorry. And here's a key point. DID is strongly associated with severe repeated trauma, especially during early childhood. The idea is that the mind, or like in order to cope with overwhelming experiences, separates them into different parts, you know? Instead of one continuous identity, the person develops distinct identity states as a way of managing the trauma. It's not something someone chooses, it's a subconscious coping mechanism, if that makes sense. So let's put this side by side, okay? Because this is where the confusion usually gets cleared up. Schizophrenia affects perception of reality, includes hallucinations and delusions, does not involve multiple personalities. DID affects identity and memory. It involves distinct identity states and is typically trauma surrounded. It's trauma related, it's trauma created. So, schizophrenia is about what is real. DID is about who am I right now. That's the difference. So, why do people mix these up so often? A lot of it comes down to media. Movies and TV shows love dramatic portrayals of split personalities, and instead of calling it what it actually is, DID, they label it as schizophrenia. And over time, that idea just stuck. But the problem is that misinformation has consequences. It can increase stigma, spread fear, make people misunderstand what these conditions actually are. And when people don't understand something, they're more likely to react with fear instead of sympathy. So, at the end of the day, both schizophrenia and DID are serious mental health conditions, and both deserve to be understood accurately. Because behind every label is a real person, someone dealing with experiences that are often difficult, confusing, and sometimes isolating. These aren't just concepts or plot devices, they're real. And the more we understand them, the better we can just reduce stigma, support people who need help, and just stop spreading harmful myths. So, the next time you hear someone say schizophrenia means multiple personalities, you'll know that's not true. And maybe you can help clear it up. So if you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and maybe let me know what topic you want me to cover next. And just remember, understanding something even just a little better can make a bigger difference than you think. Thanks for watching.